to continue your tufting journey by moving on to some hand tufting tools. When I looked on Amazon, I found a range. I found a $40 tool, $30 to $40, made by different companies, and I thought, oh great, this is perfect, and I put it in my cart. But then I also found a tool that was $120, and I thought, well, crap, I don't know the difference. I don't want to spend $120 if I'm just getting the same thing for $40. So, of course, I looked on the internet. I couldn't really find a lot that compares these two. So, that's why I'm making this video. So this is the less expensive tool, around $30 to $40 on Amazon. And right off the bat, you can see that that needle is a thick needle. I mean, it's hefty. This is the this is the more expensive tool, and you can see the needle size right there, the difference. And if you're looking down here, you can see that this tool is leaving these small footprints left in the fabric. This is monk's cloth, by the way, which is not great for tufting, but I had a lot of it around, so. But this tool with the big needle is leaving a huge footprint, which if you're using burlap, it's just ginormous. You really have to use a lot of yarn in there, 2 or more strands. This one with the smaller needle, I found that it can hold 1 or 2 strands, but any more, and it's a bit much. But the cool thing about this pricier version is that it actually comes with a separate, bigger needle and a pusher, and I'll explain that in a minute, that can handle thicker yarn. So you have a lot of options there. If you want to do baby yarn to 2 strands of your typical red heart, or the hopefully the thicker bulk weight yarn. The mechanisms and how they work are basically the same. So this one's really loosey-goosey. I don't know, that's really bad, but see, it just kind of slides back and forth. And this one doesn't do that. It locks in place. At first I was a little disappointed. I thought, oh, this is really hard to slide, but once you get using it, it's actually rather nice. It gives you a little more stability, where this one, especially if you're using it downwards like this, it just, like, you can't keep it up. You gotta like reach over with your thumb and like hold it into place, and then, you know, do your adjusting. So it slides nice, but it's loud, and it really, if you're doing it at a table like this, it just falls. It's kind of annoying. If you're doing it straight in front of you, not a big deal. This one, however, you can do it straight in front of you. You can do it downward, doesn't fall. Okay. Second off, I did have to modify this one. Like I said, I put that little eyelet in there because the yarn kept getting caught in here. So it runs through that little eyelet. It's not a big deal. Probably didn't have to do it, but I did a lot of moving the yarn out of the way while I was trying to use it, and it was super annoying. This one has this nice little foot thing that keeps the pusher from going all the way, you know, past the fabric, and it also keeps the yarn out of the way, which is handy. The other main difference is, obviously, the less expensive one had this nice wooden handle, and the more expensive one just had a metal tongue, which I thought was interesting. But the one thing I wanted to point out is that with the less expensive one, this is the needle that you're getting. You're getting those huge holes in the fabric, and that's your option. If you want to use 1 strand of yarn, you better be doing it in some monk's cloth or some primary tufting fabric, because doing it in the burlap is not going to work. It just makes these big holes, and that 1 strand of yarn just falls right out. because this is a loop pile gun, not gun, but tool. So all the strands are connected, which means that they just pull right out. See that? Those big old holes. So you really need 2 strands of yarn for this one. And I would like to try even if you can squeeze more in, which sounds like a great idea, but it might be that you are just making more decorative wall hangings and you don't need all that thickness. But if you want to use some thicker yarn, some bulky weight yarn, this might be the way to go. And then I would say you can use burlap, monk's cloth, primary tufting fabric, whatever. But this is the needle that you're getting, and that's the size of the pusher to push the yarn through. So those are your choices. With the more expensive version, you get this tiny little needle, which doesn't leave that big of a footprint, and you get this teeny tiny little pusher, also delicate, okay? But you also get in the box is a bigger pusher and a bigger needle. So right now I've been putting 2 strands of yarn through here, not having a problem. I don't know that I could do more. But if I get the bigger needle and the bigger pusher, I could probably do 3, or I could do some heavyweight yarn, some bulky. I'm excited to try that. But since this is a present for my sister, which is a whole other story, I probably won't be able to, because it's going to go to her pretty soon. So you are getting an adjustable needle size and pusher size, which is going to be really nice if you want to use different thicknesses of yarn, including baby yarn. And this one, I mean, like I said, that's what you're getting. That's it, no adjustment. The other cool thing about this is right here, that's going to adjust your pile height. So as you can see, there's like almost a ½ inch of difference between, like right now it's in the middle, but if we slide the pusher back and forth, there's almost a ½ inch of difference between the middle and each short or long adjustment. So if you are a person that likes to make rugs and you like to make them very artsy, very textured, you know, you want to have a lot of variation between the yarn and the thickness and the pile height, so on and so forth, this is going to be your tool. This does things that even the electric tufting gun can't do, with its thinner needle, even thinner than the tufting gun, and the adjustable pile height. And I know that my gun can be adjusted, but from what I've seen, it's such a pain in the butt, and you really can only adjust it within like a ½ inch. This is, you know, this is almost an inch difference. So, probably even more. So yes, you can adjust your electric tufting gun, but it takes so long to do it, you better be happy with where you're at. This one said it was adjustable, but it basically means you have to take the gun apart and move this little bolt over, and then you have to bend the pusher to kind of line back up with the needle. It was a huge process. I don't want to do it again, so I just left it. I left it where it was at, and I would say at $40, if I want a different size pile height, I would just buy a different tufting tool and just, you know, have a long one and a short one available to use. But adjusting it was just a huge pain in the butt, and I don't want to do it again, and I don't want to do it frequently throughout an entire project. This one, though, I would totally adjust this back and forth because it's just one screw, and you're just sliding this gold bar back and forth. And that's easy to do while you're working on a project. So this is almost a separate tool that you would need along with your tufting gun, along with your punch needle, because obviously you're going to be able to tuft a little faster than your punch needle. Not as fast as the tufting gun, absolutely, but a little faster, and you're going to be able to adjust the pile height. You're going to be able to adjust the needle to give you different thicknesses of yarn. It's really just a fantastic tool. So what are you getting from Amazon? For $120, you are adjusting your pile height by almost an inch difference. You're adjusting your needle size to allow you to use thicker or really thin yarn. And you're getting a really tiny needle to start with, which the footprint in the fabric is almost non-existent. You're also getting slightly, although jerkier, easier to use tool, because it gives you a little more stability. What you aren't getting, I guess, is this extra little wooden handle. So if you really want to, get yourself some moldable plastic and slap it on there and put your imprint in there, wrap it with some tape, or I don't know what you want to do. I'm just going to leave it like this because it's going to my sister, so she can do with it what she wants. But that's what you're getting for $120. Perfectly adjustable gun, sturdy, comes with instructions. It's just a nice tool. It's different than the rotary tool that's out there. The Danella, I believe is what it's called. So don't get those two mixed up. The rotary tool is like the same thing, but you kind of do this, and it makes the needle and the pusher go back and forth. I'm excited to try that one. I just don't have the budget for it right now. What you're getting for $40, you're getting basically the tool that you want. You're limited to yarn size and pile height. So if you just want to make some rugs or decorative wall hangings, whatever, and you want to sit in your living room, and this is great. This is going to help you. I would use some monk's cloth or some primary tufting fabric, because burlap is probably just going to get, since it doesn't kind of self-compress as well as the other fabrics, it's probably, you're just going to get a lot of holes. But if you just want to sit in your living room and make some stuff and have fun, absolutely get this. It is worth your money. I just made a small adjustment with that. It's going to be nice for you, but like I said, I would invest a little bit more in the fabric that you're using. So, I don't know. This one you can also, I should mention, use in your living room while you're watching a movie. Say you want to sit with the kids or the husband or whoever, and you don't want to just be alone in your garage or office using your loud tufting tool. You can bring your project into the house, get yourself a portable frame, and sit this on a table and just go for it. This one's a little quieter. So perfectly good tools, both of them. I'm going to recommend the expensive one. It's just so versatile, and it's going to be really useful for a artistic rug maker that wants to get the most out of their tool, but go a little faster than like hand tufting. This one, if you're playing around or you want to crank out some rugs or coasters or wall art, and you don't mind paying a little extra for a little bit better fabric to work on, which you will have about $80 extra if you buy this one. You can buy all the fabric that you need, but would not recommend using this one on burlap. I've been using it on burlap, and I swear I am spending just as much time fixing the holes as I am trying to tuft, so do not recommend.